I'm Anusha Veluri. I'm a senior, so I'm in 12th grade. I attended NSD, which stands for National Symposium for Debate, during the summers of 2018 and 2019. So NSD was a 3-week, really intensive debate camp. I do Lincoln Douglas debate, so that's a philosophy-based debate. And basically, we would have classes and practice debates pretty much the entire day. It was on the campus of University of Minnesota. So we would go to actual classrooms, and we would also there was a lot of freedom at that camp, which I wasn't really expecting necessarily. Like, we could just do whatever we wanted for lunch and dinner. We could go into town and do whatever we wanted. So it was really hard, but it was also really fun. So NSD, the social life was amazing, mostly though because I went with other people from Milburn, and so we just were a big group and we kind of stuck together. And obviously I made other friends, but NSD, the social group, was really good. Food, the cafeteria food I was not a fan of. So I would usually go into downtown with friends for lunch, and we would order food for dinner most of the time. The housing was great because it was a college dorm. Um, there were some issues with like air conditioning, but other than that, it was good. With NSD, the best part of the experience was probably the friendships. I really did make like a lot of friends, and with the friends that I had already had from Milburn, I really strengthened my bonds with those people. The worst part of NSD was probably how intense the classes were. There was a lot of homework and a lot of stress and pressure. Like, a lot of students had a lot of trouble with anxiety because there was such a toxic environment in terms of the classes. I'd say it's more just competitiveness among the campers themselves, like the debaters. There were a lot of practice debates, and I mean, it was definitely challenging. It was a little too much, I'd say, at some points, but I think that's necessary for the camp. I just say the blame is more on the campers themselves. There was a lot of cliques, not in terms of the social life, but in terms of, oh, like, we're a group of really great debaters, and those people aren't good. So let's like team up against them, or like a lot of people going behind other people's backs to share other people's work, just things like that. I think I was expecting it to be like school, where we would kind of sit and learn and then go home, do some homework, and then sleep, and maybe have like an hour of free time or something like that. But it was really not like that at all. I'd probably liken it to college, where, yeah, there are a couple of classes and it is difficult, but you're also just on your own and you can do whatever you want during the day. A lot of people chose to spend it on debate, but I think it was an opportunity to really just be free, and kind of like there we could rent bikes and bike into town, and it was just a really freeing and fun environment, which I wasn't expecting at all. So I actually did, just like last week I qualified for Nats, and then my sophomore year, right after coming out of NSD, I qualified for Nats then as well. I think that specifically with LD, there's a debate that you can do before you go to camp. It's called lay debate, and it's very basic. And then once you go to camp, you learn about something called tech debate, which I personally believe, and everyone else I think believes too, that for LD, you can only understand tech debate if you go to camp, if you go to some sort of a debate camp. And so, I mean, there were huge, tangible, and like noticeable improvements, I think, in debate, just that I became aware of a whole nother like aspect of LD debate that I didn't know about before. So yeah, for sure. I think it helped a lot. In general, summer programs are incredibly overpriced. I would say NSD really is worth the money, just because the faculty makes themselves so available. Plus, the housing and the food is really high quality as well. I think around March or maybe February. I would say NSD is for people who are truly passionate about debate. It's not to learn to figure out if you're passionate about debate. I'd say you should commit to debate before you go, because if you're still on the fence about whether you like the activity, it's just going to be too much and it's not going to be beneficial. I'd also say that NSD is what you make of it. There are a lot of office hours where you can choose to go and get help, but you can also choose to just stay in your room and do nothing. And so for a lot of people, they come out of it and they're like, I didn't learn that much. But maybe the reason that people don't learn as much is because they don't put the onus on themselves to go out and learn. You don't have to write an essay or anything for NSD.